Hope y'all don't mind a little music.
This is Warpath. Be advised we have additional choppers from the 160.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, bringing you Chapter 2 in my Homefront Guerilla difficulty video walkthrough. And this one is entitled Freedom, or as Mel Gibson would say, "They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!" Because Mel Gibson actually turns up in this game. He's a 25 kill streak, and instead of getting a tactical nuke, you call in a Mel Gibson, and he unleashes the fury that is anti-Semitism. So yeah, watch out for that. But this chapter starts off pretty slowly, and you get to walk around this safe zone that this revolution guys have got, and there's an achievement for talking to everybody in this camp, and I don't do it. So if you're wondering why I don't do it, it's because I didn't know at the time. I only found out in foresight. So something to point out for you guys. And I know right now, with the world in such a state, with earthquakes off the coast of Japan, sending that big fucking tsunami to wreck some shit, and everything going off in various parts of the world, with dictators and political regimes trying to overthrow rulers, and practically on the brink of war with some in it, with all the fucking politicians saying that action must be made, and they've tried to do it diplomatically. There is a real telling question at this moment in time, and I think we've all got it on the tip of our tongues. And that question is, will Channing Tatum ever make a good film? And I think the answer to that question is no. Because I have the fighter on in the background, and oh my god, I've not seen this film, and I don't want to see this film, because from the short 5-minute stint I've just got out of the corner of my eye, this looks like a piece of boy anus. And the dude just looks like a plank of fucking wood with a smile. He just walks around with his giant thick neck, doing nothing. He's pointless. Utterly pointless. Don't get it. But something to point out on here, if you're not that aware when you play your first-person shooters, directly at the top of the heads-up display, you will see a couple of lines in a greyed out section in a rectangle, and that is it's the equivalent of your compass. And the two arrows pointing downwards is the objective. So if you don't know where to go at any given moment, or you're not too sure what the game wants you to do, that will generally be pointing you in a direction. And I know that probably sounds like fucking, duh, kind of thing. Who doesn't know that? We've been playing games long enough to know that when the game points its finger, we know where to go. Well, on this game sometimes it can be telling you to regroup and things, and if you're pushing forwards, you sometimes get a bit ahead of yourself, and you have to move back to your guys to trigger something that the AI has to do before you can actually carry on the game. So if you're ever in that spot where you've pushed up and nothing's happening, then just look back on, see where your guys are, and you probably have to go over to them to trigger them to do something. And that kind of fucking sucks, because this game is full of that, where if you don't run back to a certain spot and stand there for a second to trigger an event, the game will never push forward. But as long as you know that you have to do it, you should never get stuck. And we just have to move through this little oasis of sorts and carry on. And what's going to be happening in this chapter is, once we've gone through this area, we'll be picking up some weapons, we'll be going through an underground tunnel, and we're going to be sneaking into a Korean labour camp where they're keeping American citizens. And it's a pretty cool section of the game, because this game breaks up its action by moments like this, where you get to walk around and talk to people, and various stealth sections and stuff like that. So if you ever get sick of the standard running around shooting dudes in the face, then this game does throw a little off-kilter things into the mix. And I find a collectible here while I'm arsing about on my recording run. That's why I pick it up. And the reason I haven't been picking up other collectibles is because I've found other ones. And I'm going to say right now, this walkthrough is not going to show you how to find all the collectibles. It's not going to show you how to get all the achievements. This is literally a survival guide to get through the hardest difficulty. And there's one thing I'd like to say as well when it comes to walkthroughs. I get the games as quickly as I can, and I make the walkthrough as quickly as I can, and I pretty much bully rush my way through the game using knowledge that I've got by playing a shit ton of games. It's that simple. There are some games that I know better than others. For instance, my Bayonetta guide is probably the first video walkthrough I made. It's also probably the best for content, because I'd played Bayonetta a shit ton before I made it. Homefront will not be of that quality, and the main reason is I don't have time to to get that good at the games. I don't have time to learn everything, so my walkthrough is not going to show you the right thing to do in every situation. And the things I say on the walkthroughs aren't going to be 100% fail-proof, because games are just not that built that way anymore. And you guys are probably going to find a handful of things that I don't even know exist. Strategies and ways through the levels that make them a million times easier. And that's just how it works. And they're probably the most messages I get these days are telling me things that I probably didn't even know, I probably wouldn't even know, and still to this day wouldn't have known without them. And don't get me wrong, it is cool to know that kind of stuff, but when people point it out, you know, with that kind of egotism in the sentence, it's kind of like, I spent a day doing this fucking guide. I played the game maybe once. I'm not bound to know that if you go to a door and punch it 50 times and, you know, like wait for 10 minutes, you get 2 extra grenades or something silly like that. And that's not me shitting on people that find that stuff out or various things, but it's kind of pointing to the people that picked out that I missed nodes in Dead Space 2. I didn't need nodes in Dead Space 2 for the most, because you can buy them. And it's one of those things where I said right at the start, this is not going to be about finding everything. It's not going to be about, you know, managing your resources, even though I will give you advice of me personally. This is just my take on the game from what I've experienced. And it just seems like wasted energy for a lot of people that could be spending the time doing better things. And I suppose I shouldn't complain because they're still watching my videos, but I just thought I'd point that out. I will not 100% be correct in what I do and what I see and what goes down, so you've always got to take it with a pinch of gaming salt, basically, because sometimes you just get screwed. But anyway, back to the game. Right now, this is an enemy that shines its light on you, and if the light is on you, it means it can see you, and it will kill you in a handful of bullets, so you need to pretty much put any piece of cover you physically can between you and its sensor, and get as close to it as possible, because as you can see, there's the 2 arrows in front saying destroy, and you have to get all the way up to this crane, or whatever the hell it is, it's a guard turret, and throw a grenade in its back, which will blow it up in one. And you're going to be fighting these through the game. There's a handful of them on this chapter, there's a handful of them on the chapters to come, and they're basically unmanned stations where the Korean, or I can't remember what they call them, it's something like the KPA or something ridiculous, which just makes me think of Painkiller already, because they say PK, don't they? But this is an interesting moment. When you come into this room, there's a ton of guys out this window, and you'll notice I've gone straight up to this window instead of going out the door, and the reason I've done that is because they have a significant advantage over you as far as cover. And unfortunately the window isn't the best cover as well, so sometimes you'll get shot, sometimes you'll even get killed because you think you're safe and you're not when you've gone into prone or you've crouched to move away. So the best thing I would advise here is just kill as many dudes as you can from this vantage point, and as soon as it goes quiet, push on upwards. I died a couple times on this bit. This was the first time I died more than once on a section, because I think I died once or twice on the first level. But this is, I think I died maybe 3 or 4 times, so if you have problems with this area, it's purely because there's a lot of guys and you go down pretty quick when everybody's shooting at you. And the main reason for that is the enemies are so accurate. But when you come out here, there's a ton of trash and, you know, like fucking, it looks like a redneck's lawn kind of thing, so just make sure you use it as cover, and don't get caught off guard by that guy, because he nearly murdered me then. I don't know how I actually beat him, but fingers crossed. If you get into that situation, you'll know to use the knife, because it is a win button on this game. The knife is so powerful, it's unbelievable. The dude stabs it faster than the tactical knife on Modern Warfare 2. And that guy right there who just came out of that room and kind of fucked me up, sometimes he'll push forward and he'll not actually be a problem at all. But what you've got to bear in mind is it doesn't always play out this way every time, so you've always got to be prepared for assholes that don't follow the mates and they save, you know, like they stay behind in a room. And this game is full of that kind of stuff, because if you go in the face of an enemy, they will kill you so quickly, it's unbelievable. But keep pushing on, and we're going to be going towards the rendezvous point, which is in an elementary school, and then past the elementary school is the labour camp.
Brooks has a weird sense of humor.
And yeah, still no update as far as Killzone 3. I've been waiting to get the game from my rental service and they just haven't sent me shit. Which is a shame, but I did get this, so that's nice and fortunate. I was contemplating trading in Bulletstorm for it because where I live you can get 35 quid, or you could get 35 quid, I think it's ended now, for trading in Bulletstorm, you know, because it's so new. I was hoping to get to level 65 so I could get the 1000 achievement points off it, but that game takes a while to level up on. Even with that experience farming trick that I've got on my channel, it still takes a damn long time to do, which is a big shame because when you play with other people you do get points faster, but it also gets really fucking tedious because you're doing the same thing. So I don't know when I'm going to get that up, and it's kind of sucks because Killzone 3 is probably going to be pretty challenging, and it's the more challenging games that bring more traffic to your channel and get you more views. But there is a couple of moments of this game that I think will really help people, because I think there's, in all honesty, I could say there's two sections that I found throughout my time with Homefront that were really challenging. One of them is you run past a swimming pool. That's how I remember it. It's a swimming pool covered up, and then you jump over like some planks, and then straight in front of you there's a ton of guys, and there's a sniper that spawns at the start every time. That section there is pretty hard because I died a ton of times on it, and the getting to the chopper section, if you excuse the Arnie reference. And right now, as you can see on here, there's a shit ton of weapons that you can pick, and this is absolutely down to personal preference. But one thing I will say for anybody that's not, you know, experimented with them, the light machine guns on this game don't limit your mobility as much as you'd think. They have a massive clip, obviously, because it's a light fucking machine gun. They're very accurate if you single shot them, and they're a one bullet kill for the majority of the game. The only time when they'll not kill in one bullet is if you shoot them, you know, like in the legs. But even then, for most time, it'll kill them in one bullet. I can't even stress the importance of using this weapon, but I'll get more into that in part 2. So thanks for watching, guys, and you take care now.